Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to a brand new episode of Ways Breakfast # What Are You Saying? The show where the concerns of young people aren't pushed to the sidelines but brought to the spotlight. This is where your voice counts, your dreams matter, and your hustle gets the attention that it deserves. As the great Nelson Mandela once said, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. But here's a twist. That leadership won't always come from titles or offices. Sometimes it comes from real skills, raw and ready to change the game. So today we're zooming in on something the headlines often overlook: unconventional skills for youth. Skills that break the mold, that empower, that make you recession-proof, certificate or not. The president says farming is being made sexier for young people, with tractors, bulldozers, and international trainings on the table. But beyond farming, we're asking the big questions. Are we truly equipping Nigerian youth for the future, or just preparing them for a system that no longer exists? And it's my utmost delight to be your anchor for today. My name is Oluchi Precious Omenk, and I've been joined by the amiable God's Beauty Israel. Stay with us. It's about to be real, inspiring, and maybe even a little surprising. Let's begin. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Ooh, I'm good. And you
So
can
you are
guess
shining
why.
like the pink you're on.
You know what? Bright
Tell me.
colors are my colors,
you
honestly.
kept that
And
with her
I think I want
sometimes.
to start using it more. You know, when you found your element and you stay in that element, you will thrive.
I like
So
it.
now that I know bright colors makes me shine bright like a diamond, like Rihanna sang, I'm gonna be using them much more. But I feel quite energetic this morning, and I'm glad. So how do you
Yeah.
feel though?
I feel happy. I feel excited to be here again, to talk.
To talk, as
Yeah.
per you talk for a living. Guess what I found? I want to read this to us and even to our viewers,
Tell me.
hoping that they take some lessons from it. I saw it last night and I felt like, oh, I wish I had said this yesterday, being the start of the new week, but it's never too late. So Diary of a Niger Girl put out on her Instagram and said, before you start the new week, read this. He says, you're scrolling through your feed again and your fave just bought a house. Another influencer is on her third vacation. Her best friend is launching a business that you have been dreaming of for years. On your feed, you find some women being gifted designer bags. Another celebrity is walking around her big house, asking you to get ready with her. And it looks like they all have their life figured out, and suddenly you feel behind. She said, hold my hand while I tell you this truth. The feed is not the full story. Understand this and take it home with you. Even the most honest amongst us only show what we can bear to say out loud at a time.
Yeah.
She went forward further to say, most people are figuring it out just like you. They're just struggling to get some part of their lives together too. The only thing is the people you envy are professionals at curating a beautiful social media timeline.
Right.
So this week, please mind your path. Stop turning other people's win into your worry. I
Yeah.
love you, and I think I love you as well. I think this made a lot of sense.
I agree.
Many people work on social media these days. I mean, especially young people. You see them doing, we're going to talk about skills and everything. Content creation, social media management. So you always have to be on social media. Even if you're not even working in those areas, your phone is like your next party nowadays. And you will see different things that can come as pressure. LinkedIn pressure is another kind of pressure. Let's not even talk about it. But Instagram pressure is there. You're seeing somebody at 22, an influencer saying, get ready with me, gifting their friends some designer bags, and you're like, the only thing I could afford for my friend is this, and it can subtly create pressure for you. But I love how she has painted the reality of things, that sometimes it's not always as you think.
Thank you.
Even though
Very
they
much
could
so.
be winning and they are winning, you're not supposed to compare it with yours. Some people have heard one particular motivational speaker say that we try to compare our chapter 1 with someone's chapter 20.
You can imagine.
Right? There's no point jumping the process. Young people are meant to go through that process. That process
Yeah.
of not figuring it out, being fatigued, not having money is part of it. At the end of the day, the story becomes sweeter. So, myself, I've hold body with this quote. So, how do you feel about this particular
I love it
quote?
because I think it's something that everybody actually needs to hear, right? We see something on social media, we're asking ourselves, why am I chill gum? What's going on with me? Is it that am I not serving the same God that you were serving? What's going on? But then if you get to understand, that's why I like the part that you brought in when you say you're still in chapter 1 and you're comparing yourself with someone that's already in chapter 20. You're supposed to understand that there's a time and season for everything. So I mean, honestly speaking, do I feel that as well? I think sometimes I do,
Absolutely.
but then I still always brace up and say, okay, I mean, I'm still in this chapter of my life, so how about I just leave it, live with what's going on, enjoy the season, enjoy the moment. I feel like that's literally
And
what I'm
learn
doing.
from it as
yeah,
well.
and I think that's something everybody should actually do as well. Don't see that space that you're in as a problem. Instead, see it as that time where you're moving forward, but then you have to enjoy the moment.
I love it. Enjoy the moment. Of course,
Yeah.
this is where we'll take a short break to reflect on the significant event that has shaped our world, titled Today in History. And when we come back, we'll look through the papers of this morning. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. All right, welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. Remember, you're the main ingredient in all of our conversations, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, for our topic this morning. It's for young people. And I think one major question I want to ask is, the young persons listening to me right now, do you think that you can ever consider farming as a career path? So let me know in the comment section. Our phone lines are open. Please call us on 07025007749 or 0701424240. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, head on now to the official Upgrade TV. Click the subscribe button, like, share the link, and tune in to channel 145 on your Go TV. Let's take a look at what's happening and making waves across the world, Nigeria, and of course, internationally. And Gosriti would lead us on that ride.
A straight guide to the Guardian's newspaper. We have at the top left, which is from an opinion from Simon. We have there, no matter what Trump says, the United States has gone to war and there will be profound and lasting consequences. I actually agree. But then I'd like to hear what Moluchi has to say. At the top right, we have Thunder bid Spacer in Game 7 to win franchise first NBA title in Oklahoma City. Now, main headline, which is European back higher defense spending amid Russia threat, poll finds. So coming back to the opinion from Simon, we have here, no matter what Trump says, the United States has gone to war, and there will be profound and lasting consequences. Now, this opinion piece argues that despite Donald Trump's public denials and framing, now the United States nation is already deeply engaged in a war, whether through direct military involvement, proxy conflict, or escalated global tension. As Simon suggests that Trump's leadership, unpredictability, and handling of international affairs, especially with Russia and possibly NATO, has drawn the United States into a conflict with wider reaching implications. And I actually cannot beg to differ on this one. I mean, I was saying yesterday that it's one thing to say that, oh, there's a fight or there's a war going on. I mean, it's okay to just put in your 2 cents about what you think or whoever you're supporting. But the fact that you have to now decide to, attack the other person, you've just not only brought in yourself, but also the United States as well. And just like I said yesterday, that of course there'll be consequences for this, Another opinion from Simon is also stating that there will be profound and lasting consequences. I just hope that Trump actually knows what he's doing and is ready for the consequences that come with this big blow that he did. I mean, I was checking X yesterday, and I mean, it's okay. When I was reading the whole news and all, I felt like, probably they just found out and, you talk about it. Trump himself actually put it on X. Like, he actually tweeted it, and he was going straight and said, he was even, saluting and thanking the military, persons that actually took care of the attack. He was thanking them, job well done. I'm like, wow, this man actually knows what he's doing. And I just hope that, he's ready for the consequences that comes with this action.
I saw one particular news. I don't know if it relates to this. It says Iran launches missiles at U.S. bases
Yes,
in
now
Qatar.
they're coming. They're coming back. Or you do. Of course, they would retaliate. I don't think there's any time you expect Iran to actually sit quiet. I mean, they're having an issue with Israel. Like I said, it's okay to actually bring out your opinion and say, "Oh, you're for Israel." We understand that part. But the one where you have to now start, you're not fighting fighting them and supporting what's the name, supporting Israel. And you're fighting Iran. You're not in the business, first off. Look, and I does it. I think that should be on Friday. We talked about the Chinese president's involvement in all of this. He said he can't wait to actually be a mediator. He wants to be a mediator. He wants to try and see how he can solve the problem. That's what other leaders are doing. Why is Trump going ahead to fight a battle that is not his?
I like that statement. How do we put it in Nigerian context? Taking paracetamol for someone else's headache.
How far now?
Well, I don't really want to talk about this story because it's war-related. We have a lot that we're dealing with here in security-wise. So having to think of some other external wars, even though at the end of the day, it has its own implication.
Effect,
I think The Guardian yesterday mentioned that, some fiscal policies, I think related to the economy and trade, right? It has a way of affecting other countries.
Of course it will.
And this is a time for world countries, the ADs countries as we call them, to be at the forefront to ensuring that mediation happens. Anyways, let me take you through the Nigerian papers. The Guardian is all that we have today. The major headline reads, NUC, flawed process, false disclosure, rock courses and varsities, accreditations. Above that, it says, reaction trail demolition of Owo Church massacre victims cenotaph. African leaders and activists hinge political apathy on bad leadership. EFCC arrests ex-NNPC chiefs over alleged $7.2 billion fraud. Okay, we also see more stories here. Abuja safe, no cause for alarm. Federal government assures amid U.S. travel warning. PDP chiefs dismisses ADA coalition as weak attempt to oust Tinubu. Casualties from Plateau killings rises to 22. Insecurity, Tinubu urged to investigate alleged complicity of security chiefs. And the last story on June 12 says Yoruba group, Anehi accuses Lamido and Onanuga of distorting history. I'm looking at everything here and I'm wondering which one do I want to focus on? Is it politics? Is it education? Or is it insecurity? I mean, yesterday we had a guest who helped us to really uncover, what's happening in Plateau, how that it's not a today thing, it's stemming from a very long time ago. And exactly, and now we're seeing that the casualty list is increasing. I mean, we've already vented, we've ranted, we're angry, we're sad, we're empathizing. And the worst thing to get after that is to hear that there is still more. Do you understand? It's almost like, more of what? I thought maybe there's a solution happening right now. I thought maybe the people that need to buckle their belts have seen that Nigerians are really paying attention to this and they would. Why do we keep saying this casualty increasing and increasing? But maybe it's something that is going to be a long shot at the end of the day. But the question that remains that how far is so far? Do you understand? Because if we're postponing the solution, in the sense that we're postponing action, let me use the word action, it means that a lot of lives will be lost till we have figured out how to
solve it.
So this is a thing of
That's not
urgency.
what we need right now. Yes.
It is an emergency. When it takes on to ICU, intensive care, if there's anything that the president should be focusing on at this point, right? I know we're young people and we can lend our voices to this. Is this a security problem?
I agree.
Economic problem and other problems, of course, it has long-term effect. But you see these ones, lives are going by the second. I don't know. I know maybe sometimes when it comes closer to home, that's when people can understand that there is really fire on the mountain. I mean, recently in the Southwest, maybe due to some other explosions or something, we don't really get to hear some of these stories. But those people there have their lives. Imagine having to wake up every morning and you're turning your backs, not knowing what next is going to happen to you. Look at people who were traveling to Plateau State for a wedding ceremony, all the way from Kaduna to Plateau to what's wedding, celebration, let's be joyful and happy, and lives were lost. I'm even trying to uncover that story. Did the wedding eventually happen at the end of the day? What happened at the end of the day? And this is some of the stories that we even got to see on the headlines. There are many more that are probably hidden. Some people just having few trips and they are killed. Why? I mean, this has a long shot, honestly, and this is ICU. It needs ICU care, intensive care at this point. Anyways, let me take you through another story that caught my attention, and that's about the education sector, where it's noted that, there's this thing called accreditation of courses from the NUC, where before any course from any university even begins to run, they go through certain processes, and they are practically set to administer such courses or be at the forefront of it. So recently, there have been some questions on the integrity, and I'll tell you what The Guardian has to say. It says, department, Red Star, buses, learning equipment to scale accreditation hurdles, 100,000 academic staff servicing over 2.1 million students. Each program must meet 70% benchmark to attain full accreditation. This is an incision from the commission. So the integrity of Nigeria's university accreditation process has again come under intense scrutiny as allegations of corruption and sharp practices involving the National University Commission continue to surface. Stakeholders, including lawmakers, academics, and parents, are raising concerns that bribery and manipulation are undermining the credibility of academic programs across the country. Multiple sources have alleged that some universities, desperate to secure accreditation for their courses, resort to unethical conduct just to scale the accreditation hurdle. And this includes hiring qualified and unqualified lecturers for just a day, temporarily assigning them offices with names on doors, and borrowing equipment solely for the duration of the NUC's scheduled visits. It says once the accreditation team departs, these arrangements are dismantled, leaving students with inadequate instruction and facilities. Stakeholders have questioned the integrity of these exercises, alleging that the process has been compromised. I can go on and read and everything, but I think you already have an idea of what I want to say. It doesn't even make sense. It does not make sense at all. What is the point of accrediting a course? It's not to paint your school in a bad light. It's just to say that your school at this point is suitable to do this course. If it is not, hold on till you are ready to do this course and then begin to take the course. Why do we think of mago? I'm Nigerian, so permit some of the verbiage that we use to just want to do this course. Your school is not suitable to do nursing, to do accounting, yet you figure out ways. So some of the what will I call it now? The mago ways. I'm trying to look for the word, to which they're doing this thing is they will rent lecturers, unqualified lecturers, because maybe some of the requirement is that you should have this number of lecturers there, and this should be their offices. So they will just paint something, right, for these people to come and see that, we have everything. And this takes me back. This takes me back to in secondary school then when my teachers then will hear that, some inspectors are coming over. Everybody's on their best behavior. You see teachers that usually wear sandals in school, go and look for their heels in their staff room just because you want to put up an appearance. I get it that, of course, we should put up appearances at some point. Everybody chases clouds, right? But it has a more bigger implication to this. Because at the end of the day, students will be coming into these universities thinking that these universities are equipped for these courses, whereas it's just borrowed lecturers. It's figurehead lecturers that we have there, and it's not even proper at all. So I'm glad that this has been brought to light, because this process has already been compromised. It needs to be watched. It needs to be checked. If I'm going into a university to study this particular course, I should know that this university has passed all the requirements, and whatever knowledge or learning that is going to happen here is worthwhile. In fact, it can stand on global stages as well. So I think this is something to really pay attention to. And our conversation today is opening up a lot of these problems and everything. So that's all we have for you this morning. As usual, the papers will always make us a bit agitated, but we have to tell you what's happening across the world and, drive solution as much as we can. We'll take a short break now. When we return, our hot topic for today is unconventional skills for youth. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria. We will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
Welcome back to Raise Breakfast, the show where young voices meet real conversations that matter. This morning, we're shining the spotlight on something we believe deserves more attention: unconventional skills for the Nigerian youth. And this is not the one that is taught in classroom, but the hands-on, future-shaping skills that are fast becoming game changers in today's world. Earlier this week, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a bold declaration in Abuja. He said that his government is delivering on its promise to transform Nigeria into a global agricultural powerhouse with over 2,000 advanced tractors, 50 bulldozers, mobile workshops, and more than 9,000 farming tools. The goal, according to him, is to modernize agriculture and, in his words, make it sexier for our youth. He also revealed that Nigeria is now partnering with countries like Belarus to train young people in modern farming, machine repair, and equipment building, skills that go far beyond the farm, into technology, entrepreneurship, and, of course, economic independence. But here's a bigger conversation as usual. Are we, as a country, truly investing in the full range of unconventional skills our youth need, from agrotech to shoemaking, drone operations, or to even creative digital trades? So today, we're going to take a deeper dive into these opportunities that lie outside the traditional path, the kind that empower the next generation to not just get jobs, but create them. Of course, I have this conversation with the one and only God's Beauty, Israel.
Hello.
I just like to whine you. I don't know. There's something that your name brings to it. So we're looking at unconventional skills. So when I thought of this topic yesterday, I was like, why did we even term it? Why is there such dichotomy where we have conventional, we have unconventional? So what exactly makes it unconventional? Is it because it's not the popular or it's underappreciated in the society?
So I think, one, because it's unappreciated.
Yeah.
Let me use your words. You know, we see it as a dirty job. You're a carpenter now, wow. You see they do mechanic, eh? You understand? We actually don't see, I mean, the fact that, first off, they're not really taught at the, the 4 walls of a normal school, like law, medicine, and all of that. And, as a mechanic, you can't be putting on some suited, you get it, and some, very nice shades and all. So there's not, I beg. I mean, you would actually know a mechanic from their dressing.
True.
You get, so I think that the reason why there's actually that, difference and all, it's probably, one, because of, we don't appreciate it enough. We see it as a dirty job. Our mindset towards it, really. And do I blame us 100%? I really don't know who to blame at this point. But I actually feel like when we start seeing it differently, right? Imagine a lot of money is actually pushed into farming, or is put into, let me give you this very good example.
Okay.
Back then, I'm very sure we used to see these people that used to wash cars, we used to see them as one, I think we still used to see them, you know, a certain way, even now. But then there's this tush, whatever that they have right now. Even if there are some car wash you go to, probably on the mainland, you see it's well decorated. Now they have like, you know, a bar where you can, I mean, if someone is washing your car, you can just stay by the side, you know, to take, you know, a few drinks while you're waiting for your car to be washed and all. They have made it to be more modernized, more, you know, more sexy, if you get it.
Fancy your president's words.
You get it. So there's not a certain way we now even look at it. Look at dry cleaning, for example. There are so many persons now that has dry cleaning as a business. Do you understand? A very big one. Why? Because they have somehow changed, you know, the mindset of people washing clothes. You know, nobody is going to your house now to say, until you get clothes, may I wash for you? Oh, yeah. But literally, they are the same thing. Do you understand? The difference is the time and age. The fact that, you know, we've put in a bit of tech, we've put in a bit of, you know, modernity into it. So it's not looking sweet, it's not looking sexy, it's not looking different from the normal, until you get cloth, make I wash for you. Yeah, do you understand? So I feel like, you know, it's really the mentality we actually look at these things. If not, I don't see anything wrong with carpentry. I don't see anything wrong with, you know, someone being a cobbler. I don't see anything wrong with someone doing plumbing. I mean, I think it's beautiful, but then, you know, the way we have looked at it, even they themselves, they're not helping matters, because tell me how you're looking a certain way as a mechanic. Do you get?
The truth is that we always think maybe in our country we don't have much of these unconventional skills.
We
But
do.
I think, yeah, I went to like look out for some numbers because I wanted us to have a bit of number to aid our discussion here. It says that Nigeria has about 20 million artisans.
We do.
Many of them, of course, we call them unskilled. So I think we're the ones that should start changing our vocabulary.
Yes.
Let's start changing all these unconventional, conventional. It's English that we're using to
be
deny ourselves of certain progress that could be made. So, of course, it's been termed unconventional because it's not the, I would say ideal, not because not really the ideal, but the kind of idealism that we've created for ourselves growing up. The idealism is the kind of career you should be engaged in, are the ones
Even
that
the
can
way you are
stand.
dressed, the amount you're making, all of these things.
In fact, sometimes it's even comparisons with other countries. But this is what I now started even thinking, that wait, if we really want to use idealism to compare skills with other countries, if we go to other countries and see what they are doing, you will see that some of these unconventional skills, in quotes, are very much appreciated. So let me show you some things I found that in Finland, you know, they focus a lot on creativity, emotional intelligence, and holistic education. In Japan, I say Japan. That's giving Japan. In Japan, pardon me, they focus a lot on craftsmanship, and I think some other stuff here includes the sushi chefs you find, the carpenters, and many of them. In Germany, a lot of focus on vocational training and practical skills. And even mentioned that over 50% of young people enter vocational programs rather than the traditional university.
See?
That's a large number. In Nigeria, you're leaving school and you're thinking, I think there was a time they said that after GSS 3 in Nigeria, it's fine if you do not go to the senior secondary school, right? You can just start the vocational training. And I think there were different vocational trainings across. But how many people appreciated it? How many people thought of it? And we even go back to the root cause of why people will not even think of it. How will you tell me after your junior WAEC, you want to go and learn fashion designing? Our parents are not even going to agree to that.
Exactly.
All right, we'll come back to that. So, in South Korea, of course, there's a whole lot of emphasis on creative content production, gaming, even this K-pop industry that came up. These are unconventional things. In the United States, entrepreneurship, and a number of them. Do you understand? So it shows that there are a lot of focus that we can have as a country for many unconventional skills that we have. And let's not force ourselves into an idealism that does not exist. An idealism of, oh, we can't be doing that. Would you say that we should be having more people in hard labor kind of job when other countries see what they are doing? But the truth is that these other countries that you're even admiring, some of them pay attention as well to these unconventional skills. So the president, his speech is the one that gave us the context to this discussion. And I think it's something to look out for. I mean, he's been saying that he wants to make agriculture. When I was saying agriculture this morning, Chinelo said, no, don't say agriculture, say farming. I'm like, is it not the same? But maybe it looks a bit different because maybe agriculture is a lot wholesome.
You know, talks about, a whole lot of things.
The same thing.
Animal husbandry, fishery, I mean, there's a lot to
There's a lot, but let's say specifically farming now, sexier for the youth, as he said. So do you think that if we employ this, like the way he has painted it, do you think that some youth, people watching us, and even yourself, can start paying attention in that direction that, oh, maybe this is the next big thing that can happen. Because I think even from his agenda before he got into power, he has been someone who is very keen on, you know, the agricultural sector. He wants to make it bloom, and now he wants to put young people there. The way he can entice young people is to make sure that the outward part of it looks enticing. Using the word sexy again. So do you think that this can realistically make young people to even be interested in it?
I think yes, if implemented properly, like the way it should. We know how it is in this country now. we like to talk, we're always talking. But then when it comes to action, there's very little. I hear him when he said,
I hope it changes soon.
I actually hope it does, to be honest. I mean, I hear him saying that, you know, he has put in certain amount of tractors, certain amount of bulldozers, you know, everything is ready. But then, one thing is to, like I said, one thing is to have this initiative or this plan and say it's beautiful. Another thing is to ensure that, you know, the right steps are actually, you know, being put in. It can only be sexy to a Gen Z when it's not stressful. And that's ensuring that it is very techy. Getting all the tech-related equipment. I mean, at the time we had an, you know, agricultural person here tell us what's going on with farms and how you can, you know, check. I mean, down to even knowing when the rain will fall, when you have to plant and all. There are tech devices for those things. So if you ensure those things are available.
So what if my own, look at it this way, what if my own contribution to the agricultural space is not necessarily the dirty job, but I would just invent all the techie stuff you need to aid. Is that part of it?
Should I be honest with you?
Be honest with you.
Imagine we are actually producing, sending, all of this tech stuff. Imagine we are the ones manufacturing these things. Why do you think China is where it is today? How many things Nigeria they produce? How many things we they manufacture? Even down to toothpick, we are literally importing. So make it make sense. Imagine, no, to be honest, imagine that, you know, our president say, oh, today, he's farming, I'll be no wahala. But our tractors are this or that, we are the one manufacturing it ourselves. Trust me, it will actually even help the economy. It will help, you know, our, what do they call this, GDP. It will, you know, we'll be able to now see money that we'll not be able to put in other sectors that actually need funding. Yes.
Very true.
So it is, I mean, to be honest, if you actually even look at it now, they will tell you now that all of these things, they're actually bringing it from another country to Nigeria.
So I would say that it's a great initiative from the president to think of this, because before, I remember in secondary school, one thing my economics teacher and agricultural teachers used to mention is that, you know, in Nigeria, the sectors that will really bloom, the sectors we should focus on, that we should not always be thinking of oil and gas, that the agricultural sector can really, you know, generate a lot of money for us. And I know that it just sat somewhere in my head because it's something that I heard a lot in school. Right. But yes, he has come out to put this very clear to us as an initiative to take seriously. I would say that it will go beyond the 2,000 tractors and the 50 bulldozers that you have promised. That is not what will make this particular sector to boom. Because it is what the problems we have is beyond the machineries available. Right. We are talking about youth. There are about 60% of unemployed youth, right, in Nigeria. And only 10% of them even have interest in this agriculture. So that means you already have an interest problem. Not firstly a machinery problem or an equipment problem. It's an interest problem. How do you think this is going to appeal to young people? Let's even talk about the nation's problem itself, because agriculture, farming are those kind of sectors that it will bloom when the nation is blooming, in the sense that there's no insecurity. Yeah. Look at the whole headers, farmers war that we're seeing. I mean, if you look at it very well, I think agriculture is even more profitable in some of those areas because of the lands that they have. That's why you see that, you hear that some of the cash crops that we have, it comes from where? The northern area, right? I don't think areas in the west, or maybe a little in the east, can produce some of these things. So that means if we are looking at where we can extract a number of, and get good profit in that sense, we're going to be looking at those areas. So have you considered it? You want to make it attractive to the youth. Which youth are you considering? Are you considering the youth in Lagos, people in the west, people in the east, or you're just focusing on those in the north? If you're not focusing on those in the north, have you ensured that it is even going to be safe for them in that sense? So there's a lot of things to look out for. It seems very good on paper. 2,000 tractors, 50 bulldozers. Amazing. Of course, somebody has gotten good contracts from this. Person that I wish I was the one. Has gotten good money from the contract, and it makes sense.
Having to import those things, a lot.
It makes sense, but there's a whole lot to consider. Let's even talk about access to land. Because if you're looking at this, there's a whole lot that goes into focusing on agriculture and making youth interested in it. So now speaking to the numbers I saw that said that only 10%, I think that maybe that 10% is even trying to be humble, because the truth is maybe it's even 5 or 2% who is really interested in agriculture these days. You don't get to hear it. Look at social media, for example. Many of the content creators that you see, or many young people that are on social media, what areas do you see them focused on? Other kinds of areas. I've never seen a farming content before.
No, I have.
How many?
I think there's this girl that trended. I mean, she's still trending really for people that follow her. She's a farmer.
Well, that is one out of how many?
That's
Imagine if we had many more. That can even cause people to be excited. Like, oh, okay, there's something like farming. There's a whole lot to look out in this whole thing. And I think that at this point, the way it will become enticing to the young people is not by telling us that we have tractors and bulldozers waiting. Nobody is going to man those bulldozers and tractors if I'm not assured of how profitable it will be.
Right.
The reason why many Nigerian youth are going towards different careers, even the so-called conventional ones that they studied in school, how many of them are following the conventional path? We see many people, change career path because it has to be profitable. I mean, the one that shocks me the most is seeing doctors these days, people that went to school to study medicine and surgery 7 years, coming out to be doing graphics design. That used to shock me a whole lot. I know that there's money in it, but I'm like, it costs this sacrilegious in the sense that it takes a lot of emotion, a lot of intentionality to want to study those kind of high-end courses. And because you're like, well, what's it concern me with hospital? I need to eat, I need to make money. And then they are learning graphics design or something else. I'm like, look at the kind of youth you want to deal with. So if you are looking at this demography and the mindset that we have, it goes beyond 2,000 tractors, beyond 500 bulldozers to get people interested. We're going to say something.
I feel like if he actually shows us if you're able to see the future from his plan, do you understand? We'll be able to now agree that, oh, okay, let's actually do this. Now, you make mention of the fact that there are some people that actually did study medicine and now they're into graphic design.
And they're making money.
Of course,
they're
making money. One of the reasons why most people actually go through that route is because, one, that you have to save your future kind of thing so that you don't lose time. Ensure that you have to get something that, in case anything happens, you are able to get money or generate funds. But then when you now hear the big thing that, and this one they pay back, of course you'd want to go there. So I feel like one way that, our president can actually ensure that this whole farming initiative is actually very sexy is for us to be able to see that it's sustainable. It's something that brings in enough funds. We need to see it because, like I said,
it has the potential to bring in enough funds.
But it has the potential.
We can't tap into that potential with the way the state of the nation is at this point.
That's what I'm saying. So for you to be able to convince us that it's sustainable, you have to take care of all other problems that you have mentioned.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. So we'll take a short break now. Of course, when we come back, I want us to go deep down into cultural stigmas to conventional and unconventional skills. And of course, I'm still waiting for our youth that are viewing this right now to comment and tell us if farming is the next tech in Nigeria. Of course, stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. and let's all have our say.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for sticking with us this Tuesday morning for our trendy social discuss. Of course, the president has come out to say that, farming is about to be more appealing for younger people. And today we're exploring this whole conventional and unconventional skills. And I've told God's beauty that is a dichotomy that we just created that really shouldn't have existed. Skill is skill. Conventional or non-conventional is what the way to judge skills is how much of an impact it is making, right?
Yeah.
And how profitable it is. So not really focusing on the, how would I put it now, the status we have painted for such skills. Skills is skill. Look at how I'm saying it. I mean, it's a few years ago. If you tell me skill is skill, I wouldn't have said, I'll say, no, please, let me be on my white-collar job and everything. But again, looking at the numbers I mentioned earlier, how that we have 60% of unemployed youth. That's not news. I mean, we've heard many times that the number of unemployed youth, unemployment is a major concern. That's why even during manifestos and when politicians are promising the next big thing.
It's always there.
Of course, it's the first thing that they want to sort out. Yet the number still remains static.
What's going
it's
on,
how we both put our hands like this on the table. The numbers still remain static. But let's leave that discussion for another day. But even in those numbers, we are now seeing that there's also an interest thing, right? There's an interest thing where about just 10% are even considering some of all these entrepreneurial skills or, like agriculture, farming. 10%, that's a huge margin from 60%. What is causing this divide? And I want to know it. I want us to explore other reasons that could be causing this demand. Is it just something we're born into, or is something we created for ourselves? Do you understand? Is it a divide that came to our mindset because of the environment we stay in, or we just created it for ourselves?
You mean the unconventional
Yes.
stuff, right?
Why do we see a lot of people tilt this way rather than this way? I mean, looking at the whole 10% number.
I think for a few reasons, really, which I've already mentioned. One, the fact that they're not very sustainable. I mean, if you watch any Nigerian movie back then, it used to be, the gate guy looking very somehow, the mechanic, they talk to him anyhow. I mean, but when they now show you the part of, a banker or a lawyer or an engineer, there's that, respect that is given to the person. So yes, it's a mindset thing. It's the fact that we've not accepted that, something good that can actually come out of this. I mean, look at Taylor, for example. Do you know now, I mean, there are people, they tell you I'm a fashion designer, I'm not a tailor. That is it.
And they earn more than some bankers.
Exactly. That's where tech, everything changed. That's what happens. Because, I mean, we've changed from, the normal Obioma in the streets to, a tailor that is by the roadside, to the fact now that you can see the likes of IC, you can see the likes of Vicky James with their big company and so many machines. I mean, there are now differences to this thing. Even down to, I mean, there's now, not the normal regular machine that a tailor would actually, use. There's now, a machine that uses power, right? And that's what they use to even to a particular outfit that will make you actually think. You will know the difference between, them we used to do red maid and okrika, and the one that they, normal tailor. So you would actually tell the difference. But right now, you actually cannot tell the difference. That's what tech actually, do when it comes to any vocation in that sense. Do you understand?
So basically, there's no vocation that is
every vocation is useless tech at this point. Yes, there's I don't think there's any vocation that is useless. I also made mention of dry cleaning in that sense. I made mention of car wash and all. All of these things just need a bit of steez and composture and sexiness in that sense. Branding, that's what it needs.
Basically.
That's what
I think you've mentioned a very good one. But there are more deeper things that I went to go and check out that has caused this. And we have not mentioned it well. That's parental expectations. Let's not take away the fact that we're talking to young people. Young people that probably are 17, 18, just leaving secondary school, are about to write their JAMB and WAEC. And some of them have not even really figured out what they want for their lives. How many young persons do you think just have these blueprints for their lives? Many of them, they are probably exposed to some other things. I'll take myself for example. I didn't have any, so to say, workable blueprint in that sense. I was just going by by the way. Like, oh, this is not bad, this is good, let's do this. This is what they gave me, we're doing it in that sense.
Okay.
But then, if you go like deep down, you see that sometimes parental expectations have caused the lack of interest in some of these things. And maybe
I
this
agree.
is a call for some of our parents. You know this thing, I know it's like an outdated conversation, but it's not so outdated if it is still happening. You only call something outdated if it's no longer happening. I mean, you hear parents saying, oh, I can't, how will you go and study that? You can't do that. You have
That's
to
the
do
mindset
this.
thing again.
Those kind of expectations will cause people to want to just stay one place and do something. I spoke to some girl, let's say 2 weeks ago, and I asked her what she was doing. She said she's studying law, a beautiful course, right? I'm like, oh, amazing. You chose it? She said no. I'm like, and you even got it. That means you're a very bright girl because, I mean, it's not everybody that is to put in law. And she was like, I asked her, what do you want to do? What was it that you wanted to do? And she said geography, that she loves geography. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, that's the opposite of
That
me
is
right
so
now.
opposite. Like geography,
That's the
law.
opposite of me right
But she
now,
said
like,
her
come
parents
on.
really wanted her to study law. And I'm not saying that maybe the geography had one big prospect, but she had passion and interest there. Because passion and interest is one of the first ways to even break out in any
Anything,
place.
I agree.
If your passion and interest is so hot, there are many ideas that can come from it, and you can create the next big thing in a space that nobody even thought about. So you might say, oh, geography, do you want to be counting rocks? But trust me, passion and interest can make you think of something else worthwhile and really groundbreaking. So I'm like, wow. I mean, law, geography, that shows a big divide. She was like, well, eventually, I'm still trying to enjoy the law. I'm like, you're just a smart girl, normal. So I think you can survive in any place and maybe make good progress at the end of the day. But it shows us that some of these parental expectations, even though some will say, it's outdated conversation, parents these days are not saying that. That's a very big lie. This conversation was just 2 weeks ago with someone that just entered into the university 100 level this 2025 session, wanted to study a course. A parent said, no, you're going to do this one. So look at expectations like that. I told you that some the way it's supposed to be in GS3, if you're done with GSS3, you don't want to go to the senior secondary school or go to university, you can go to, vocational trainings. But you tell your parents you're going to vocational, what do you want to study? They're going to think a lot of spiritual problems are happening to you, and they will cancel all of that. So another thing I found out is policy failure. Look at all these skill acquisition centers. They said that we have over 300 skill acquisition centers in Nigeria, and maybe even more. Let's just even say these numbers are not numbering. Many of them are underfunded. Many of them are not even functional. So imagine the centers that are even supposed to help us gain interest in that sense or developing of interest and passion is not really, let's not stretch it too much. You will really be interested in something that is put in your face many times. I mean, today, the people doing content creation, social media management, tech, why are so many people interested in it these days? Even media talking, because you see a lot of people doing it. It's out there. It's out there. Different academies, different trainings, different stuffs online make us feel like, oh, let me even learn this. Let me even see what it's about. So that means the organizations that could have even helped with the interest are underfunded. They are non-functional. How do you now want to get people interested? So sometimes it's for us to look at the fact that it's not just the youth that are uninterested in that sense. Do you understand? It's the fact that there are many things that are not working in their favor to even cause this interest. Going back again to this initiative from the president of our country, it's a very beautiful one. And let's even prefer solution. So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, if we want to start preferring solution, looking at what the president have said, I'll go back to NYC. You know, there's this thing they do in NYC. I will soon be serving. There's this side stuff that they do in NYC. I'm trying to link it to skill acquisition centers that we have that are underfunded and non-functional. If we can just help the oil in that engine, right? We're going to see how there will be many progress. You can see for some of all these centers scattered across, they are going to do... I think for NYS, I don't really know how they do it, but some people will come out to learn some things for a few days. They award the winner. But do you know that if they make it a major thing, like a major thing, not just few days training, how do you want to train? Somebody told me that thing is so warped because people that have known makeup or fashion designing in schools will be the one contesting and will be winning. What did they learn? They didn't learn anything. They've always known it. The essence of it is to help people learn the skill. So that means the reason why you're saying the not right person's there because maybe there's one few thousands of naira to earn. But if we make it a major thing in this whole NYC scheme that is available, not just possible to different PPAs, if you want to make it a major scheme, let us have a major skill acquisition center and make it very capital intensive to the end that after people are trained, they are trained well, not short-term training, not few days training, adequately trained, then we can now start, you know, that proper startup that we used to talk about, like when you've gotten your winner, give them millions to start up. But of course, you will only invest that much if you've also invested well in training. So at this point, I'm just preferring solution or thinking of the best possible way we can approach some of our interest towards unconventional skills. It's not just coming out with the numbers, but ensuring that we make other things work. So since we've seen that many centers are very underfunded, I mean, there's no money. There was this one that was even running at one point. I used to see it around Egbeda, so to say, and I don't even know how much is being done there. We don't see them. We don't even hear of their works, the people that they have graduated. How many of them? Yes, we see some of them come out, but the numbers are not equivalent to what we want to see. I just showed you one from, is it Finland or which country now? About 50%. So it's almost like an equal share. Whilst we have the doctors, lawyers, accountants, we have the other artisans that are making great progress, and everybody is contributing to the economy. So these are just my own solutions that I prefer. We're wrapping up soon. What other solution can you prefer? Or even speaking to the younger people out there, what other unconventional skills that we've termed should they start looking out for and make real progress from? I know you have mentioned some before, but let's have a wrap up.
I think my wrap-up would be, first off, we should change our mindset towards certain things. Because if you have a very woke mindset or you believe that certain things will not work out, all of these things that you have just said will actually not even work. The whole funding, imagine we have someone that actually believes that, you know, there's no much we can actually get from farming. How do you expect such a person to actually fund whatever? That's it. So once we're able to change our mindset, we'll be able to take care of all of the rest issues like funding, ensuring that this is, I mean, we can actually see that this is very sustainable. Every of the things that would be like obstacles, like insecurity, should be taken care of. You know, all of those things as well. And I feel like, you know, when we not make it a bit more techy, it then can now be seen as, you know, sexy in that sense. So I just hope that, you know, all of this plenty talk that we have thoughts,
Basically, the way I will wrap up is there is really nothing you cannot make progress with. And even with the numbers that sometimes are not numbering, there's still examples of people that have broken out of some unconventional areas and are making great progress in it. So even in this whole farming, and I love how sometimes we have some entrepreneurial spirits in young people in universities these days. I mean, if you go to schools, you see people are studying their law, medicine, and they're selling things. But it shouldn't just be like a survivor skill for school. I think you can take it beyond and really start out that business. I saw something elsewhere that said many businesses that some people are not even paying attention to, that they can start paying attention to. And that car wash thing that you mentioned was part of it. There was grocery business.
Yes,
there are a number of things we can do.
Things.
At this point, you are the one that will arm yourself with the skills that are needed. And of course, going with the trends and the times.
It's important. Going with the
trend and times now is tech and media. And guess what? Parallax Media Academy is coming with the kind of training you need to set yourself. God, it is clapping for me. To set yourself, you know, to be stable. Whilst you're earning very relevant skills, you're also earning as well. So I'm giving you that one for free. So we shouldn't get to that point where we're feeling handicapped. These whole numbers of, oh, I'm waiting for one government to do something for me. Whilst we appreciate all your efforts and your comments, I believe that, you know, if we take matters into our own hands, we'll make great progress. And that's a wrap on Ways Breakfast today. Remember, it's not always about the conventional path. Sometimes the skill in your hand can open more doors than the certificate in your life. Do you believe that?
Emphasis, actually.
All right, thank you for riding with us. Until next time, stay inspired and stay skilled up. See you tomorrow.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?